Hey friends, it's UrsulasRevenge, and I guess happy Tuesday. We have finally a new next up in Jorvik. It's only like, about a week too late, but that's fine. It's fine because we've got some information. And this week's a doozy, so let's get into it. So first update is tomorrow's update on August 7th, MyStable Revamp. And if you've been following along with some of the blog posts, or at least one of the blog posts, this is the first step of home stable customization, but don't get too excited yet. Let's read the post. With all the time spent running around Jorvik between daily chores, races, and chasing danger, it's essential to have perfect personalized space for your horses to rest and wind down after long days. Your home stable is getting a fitting revamp in preparation for more MyStable updates that will allow every equestrian to create a unique home stable experience. Now, the reason I say don't get excited about that is because Star Stable has clarified a little bit what that means based off of somebody else's comment. So it's possible that this is just sort of like the precursor back-end stuff. We might still see some changes. I don't know if it means that we're getting layout style changes for our home stables. We don't really know what we're getting tomorrow and what we're getting later. This is only part one of the MyStable revamp update. And as far as I'm aware, this doesn't include the inventory upgrade, but they've not said if it is or isn't, so we'll see. We did hear that we were supposed to get the updated inventory overhaul thing later in the summer, and it's kind of later in the summer, so I don't know. We won't really fully know until tomorrow what's actually coming. I've already seen a couple people upset by this because they're assuming we're not going to see any changes, and that is possible. We might not physically see any changes that hit the game. However, them splitting out the update like this, doing the back end part first and the big visual changes later with the actual customization is a good thing, because you don't want things to break and then not be fixed for a long time. Obviously, they've tested this beforehand, but you never know what's actually going to happen until it goes live and players start interacting with it. So it's better that they do the back end stuff first, make sure that it works, and then do the rest of the update for the rest of us. But again, we don't exactly know what we're getting tomorrow, and this is all just speculation. I did still want to point out what they said on Instagram. So this comment from one user says, from the title, it sounds like we're not getting customization yet, not even like choosing from a few different pre-made ones. So Star Stable responded, you're right. Tomorrow's update is a significant step towards more customization in the future. We hope you'll enjoy this step as well as the next ones to come. So again, we know that customization is not coming right now. It's probably part 2 of this update, but we also don't know if that means we're not seeing anything tomorrow or if we're seeing a new structure tomorrow. Again, we'll find out tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. So moving on to August 14th, we have an update titled Frizzy, Frenzy, and Blazing Trails. Make way for the Frisian. This powerful and versatile horse is a favorite among Norwegians, medieval warriors, dressage riders, and recreational riders alike. The Trailblazer track is launched, rewarding hard-working star riders with unique items for both star rider and horse. Keep up with daily activities all over Jorvik and earn trail points as you go. So we've got 2 exciting updates coming on August 14th. We have the Gen, I guess it's technically 3.5. It might just be Gen 3 again. Yeah, I don't know how they're classifying this, because basically the Jorvik Frisians and the Jorvik Sport Horse are different than the normal Frisians, because it's like the Jorvik Frisian is basically Jorvik's version of the Sport Horse, but this is supposed to be a true Frisian. Anyway, I honestly, I'm probably one of like the few people who actually really love the Jorvik Frisian, just because they're so goofy and I love them and they're just so cute. But I digress. I'm still very excited for this new Frisian, and I will be purchasing one. And equally as exciting, the Trailblazer track, which we've been really excited for like all summer long, is officially coming next week. This is the one that we showed the preview for. This is the one that they did the July blog post on. This is the one that as you do dailies, you earn points, and those points get you outfits and other consumables and other things that you can just unlock along the way. And it should be here for, I believe they said 3 weeks. So you've got 3 weeks to hop on, do your dailies, do everything that you can to unlock all of the rewards. But they did say, not recently, this is like part of like the original stuff that they shared about the Trailblazer track when people were kind of getting like concerned about it. After the Trailblazer track ends, the items earned on the Trailblazer track will not be exclusive. Actually, I don't remember if this was spoiler information. This might have been from a CC Creations video. I don't remember. So take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's going to be official yet, but from my understanding, the items and outfits and tack gotten from the Trailblazer track, once the Trailblazer track is done, those items won't be gone forever. They will be dormant for 6 months. They will not be obtainable for 6 months. But then once that 6-month mark happens, they will be relaunched in Global Shop to be purchased for star coins and shillings. So you can do the Trailblazer track now, get them early for free, just by doing some, you know, stuff you're going to be doing anyway when you're playing the game, versus having to wait 6 months and buying it with your shillings. So if you don't complete the track, you've got an option in 6 months. Probably. We'll see in 2 weeks. I probably should have put this disclaimer at the beginning of the video, but take everything that I'm saying in today's video with a grain of salt. As always, updates are subject to change. They might not appear on the weeks that they are expected to. Things happen, things get shifted around. We'll just take it as we go. Obviously, we can't predict the future, so we're just doing the best that we can. This is a fun speculation thing because I'm excited about this game. Moving on to week 3, we've got the final countdown on August 21st, and yeah, it's what it sounds like. So much to learn, but will there be enough time? Practice your skills along with the other Soul Riders to prepare for the final confrontation. So it looks like we are getting an end to the main story quest. Possibly not right now. There will probably be a couple of final like quests that just ramp up until the very end. I mean, this just says we're preparing for the final confrontation, so we're probably going to get a couple of either smaller quests or like a little bit more story as it ramps up to a close. And I've got a couple things to say about this. One, I'm of the camp where I think that the main story quest it needs to wrap up at this point. And I say this for a couple of reasons. One, I really don't know how Star Stable has gotten away with this for almost 13 years. That they've launched a game without a story game, a story MMO, without a complete story. Most other MMOs, if you've played them and they have quests, the quest will be baked into the launch of the game. You can play it at your leisure, but there is a storyline progression. I have a lot of experience with MapleStory, so at least a lot of old experience with MapleStory. I haven't played MapleStory in a couple of years, but I digress. So in MapleStory, when you have a character, they have different job progressions. So like between levels like 0 and 200, I think it's like 250 now, there were specific times where you could level up in your job, and there were a couple different quests. So from like 0 to 10, you were a beginner, and then at 10 or 15, depending, sometimes you choose your next class. And then you go up to like 50 or something, and then you choose the next part of your class, and then 75 you choose the next part of your class, and 120 you choose the next part of your class, and there are stories that go along with your progression. But if you tried really hard enough upon release, you could just max out your character and do the whole thing. It was a lot of work, and I don't know anybody who could do it in a single day. But the point is that by the time that character released, everything was complete for them. You could complete it as you went. You didn't have to wait for anything. The fact that Star Stable could stretch out this story for 13 years for an MMO is wild to me. Even if you also take into account not even the characters from MapleStory, but the different events that happen along the way, they'll do like short time, like 1 month, 3 month events, but all the content is pretty much released upon event release. You can just do everything as part of the event from day 1 of the event. Star Stable kind of has like this thing going on where they almost like string us along, which is just the style of the game, but it's different from so many other games. And I think that it's maybe time for this story to end. Now, just because this story is ending doesn't mean that stories in general are ending. That's kind of like an important distinction here. It just means that probably this whole fight with the Dark Riders in Garnock might be going dormant for a while. But that opens up the door for more enemies and a new cataclysmic event to happen in the world. There's still so many questions surrounding the story that I don't think they're going to have a problem picking and choosing what to elaborate on after the story is over. And there's also confirmation about this as well. Also, in the comments, somebody asked what happens when the main story ends, and Star Stable has responded, perhaps even more thrilling adventures. So they have plans to keep giving us more story quests and keep the story going. That's not part of this main story. We are getting more building for Jorvik, more characters to meet, all different things that come with the story quest. It's time for this one to end. They've been building it up for a while, guys. Plus, when you stretch out a story this long with so many different people, obviously the lore is going to get confusing. I know that's what a lot of people have complained about, that the beginning doesn't feel like the end, but that just happens when so much time has passed and we all have different experiences and different people come in with their own experiences that, blends together. So long story short, I think this is a good thing. I think this story needs to end in order to make way for new things and new stories to be told. We've been telling the same story for 13 years, and I think we've built it up enough. I'm pretty sure I started that segment saying that there were a couple of reasons and started with one and then promptly mashed all my reasons together. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on to the final part of this next up in Jorvik. On August 28th, we have more Moorland. Idris caught wind of the ongoing renovations around Moorland and decided to give his circus tent a little glow up of his own. Penny and Polly are also excited to share their changes to the pony race, so bring out your small but feisty steeds and check it out. So we've got a couple more additional changes going around Moorland, this time not so secret. So Idris' circus area is getting an upgrade. I wonder if that means they'll also touch Nilmer's Highland, the other side of it, with the abandoned, dilapidated buildings. I'm curious about that. And we have additional changes to the pony race. Now, I haven't done the pony race in a long time because I don't tend to ride around on ponies, and the Halflinger doesn't count. It only counts for the championship for some reason. Well, for some reason it's because they aren't ponies and they were accidentally marked as ponies for the championship, but I digress. So I think that before that update happens, we're gonna have to run around and do that pony race real quick and then check it out and do a side-by-side comparison. So I'm kind of excited for that. Only because I kind of wanted to do a side-by-side comparison. Not that I'm excited about the pony race because I don't really ever do it. But anyways, that is it for this nope, it's not Wednesday. That is it for this next up in Jorvik. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video like this. I do try to cover every Wednesday update and more. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up. Let me know which one you are most excited for. Honestly, I'm kind of excited to see what's going on with Idris' circus tent. I like when the areas glow up a bit because they just, you know, they kind of get modernized, and I just really like how, like, they interpret, like, modernizing this game. And of course, like, I've been very excited for the Trailblazer Trek and the Frisian for a long time, and obviously I'm excited for the story to end, just so that, like, we kind of have, like, that nice conclusion before something new. And of course, like, you know, stable customization is exciting because also, I don't even get to talk about this, but stable customization has been, like, they've been trying to do this for years, literal years, and they finally made the steps. It took them a long time to do all these steps to finally get organized in order to do the home stable update. They've organized and straightened out their code. They've done so much work behind the scenes that we don't even know to bring us this feature, and it's just like, it's wild. It's crazy. Like, this is something that they could not fathom doing. They tried doing, couldn't do it. And they tried, like, I think 2 or 3 times, and now it's finally time for it, and it's just very exciting. So yeah, we have got a very exciting month of updates, and I cannot wait for it. So I will see you all tomorrow for the Wednesday update. Bye!